I'm not particularly going to be hunting any swans today, but if I was going to, or any other critter that flies, I would use this rascal. This is a Northwest trade gun, made by a friend. It's not the finest Northwest trade gun, but it functions good. It has all the proper characteristics. The large bow trigger for mittened hands, the serpent side plate, which is an iconic feature of a Northwest gun. This one has a flat face lock. The locks did vary depending on manufacturer. Many of these went into the Rocky Mountains, into Canada. This is like a massively produced trade gun. It was cheap to build. Indians liked it, particularly Indians liked it. I guess they considered it a step up from the bow and arrow because they would get these rascals and sometimes what they got wasn't so good. I'd heard of orders where they got them into the mountains and got them all traded off and they all broke, or many of them ceased to function. These are really a low budget gun in the fur trade era. They were cheap to produce. They're smoothbore, so there's no rifling. They just got a smooth barrel on them. There are books out there written about these. I think Charles Hanson Museum of the Fur Trade written a book about them, and a Museum of the Fur Trade at Shadow, Nebraska has a massive collection of Northwest trade guns. So if you can ever get up there and look at those, and you like Northwest guns, that's like the place to see them. I use this frequently. This is kind of like my turkey gun. And I mentioned earlier about hunting swans. I don't know anything about swans, but this rascal will be really good for blasting the turkey. And I have used these for hunting turkeys. Now, I started this with the word swan, and it's curious. I have swan shot that I have made. It's a particular name for shot pellets that are made by taking your lead ladle, get your lead melted in here, and you can see the little sharp spout on the lead ladle. And by dripping little bits of lead, molten lead, off the tip of your spout into cold water to make shot. It's not the most elegant shot, but I'm going to put a few in here and see if I can get you a good look at what they look like. They are teardrop shaped. They have a little point on the end of them. It can take some practice you got to hold your hands and your mouth just right and drip them off the end of that, and then you can sort through the shot and pick out the better ones, and of course remelt the really faulty looking ones. I discovered by accident, many of you use a modern day lead furnace to cast bullets for other guns and cast your round balls and whatnot, you know, not necessarily always around the campfire. I mean, we do the campfire in the woods, but I have a Lee pot. There's a bottom pour, and I was making some pistol bullets one day for my 45 long Colt, and the dang thing would start dripping, and it's just annoying as could be because the drips would splatter and it'd make a big mess, and I'd have to start all over and clean the orifice out, whatnot, and the light bulb went off. I went and got a can of cold water and I set it under there and just let it drip. And it made this much swan shot in a very short period of time. And most of it was almost perfect. Now, most game laws won't let you use this. I don't know why, but they won't let you use it. And there's steel shot laws and all that going on now. But for just something fun to shoot targets and things with, this stuff is really fun. You can fire this stuff out of a smoothbore like my trade rifle or my trade gun. And I swear you can hear this stuff hiss going through the air. Yeah, it's quite the stuff. I doubt you could ever get a consistent pattern with it because it's just a wild thing you're shooting out the barrel. That's the beauty of a trade gun, like this one. In a survival situation, anything you can put down the barrel will come out. You could shoot a load of pea gravel. You could shoot a wooden plug. You could shoot all kinds of stuff out of this gun. Handful of cedar berries or whatever. I bet cedar berries would kill a rabbit. Anyway, just something fun. I thought it might give you a tip if you want to make some swan shot. Of course, get out the campfire and give it a try. You might have a good steady hand at it and could make some pretty nice shot. And if you got a bottom pour lead pot, be ready when it starts dripping. You can make a couple pounds of this in no time at all. This is William Bailey with Bill's Historical West, talking about swan shot today. For now, watch your top knot. Up here. Want to keep your hair. Talk to you later.